Hi friends, myself K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of SNH, Chebrolu Engineering College, Class 10. Topic: Diffraction at double slit. Double slits having represented as A1 B1 and A2 B2. The slits are narrow and they are in rectangular shape. The plane of the slits are perpendicular to the plane of the paper, and the width of the both slits is represented by the letter small e, and they are separated by a length of small d. Now here the wavelength of the monochromatic line is represented by the letter lambda. Now this monochromatic light is incident normally on the both slits, that is A1 B1 and A2 B2. This is the representation of Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. A1 B1, this is one of the slit. A2 B2, this is another slit. Here the width of the slit is represented as small e. The width of the another slit also is small e. Now the gap between these slits is small b. So whenever the monochromatic light is normally incident on this slits, after the slits the light rays, some of the light rays are travel in the same direction, that is as incident direction. That means there is no diffraction. These rays are meet at a point P0, which is on the screen. So as the incident ray direction, that means the same direction, so these rays are meet at a point P0. At the point P0 the intensity is maximum, that is it is represented as central maxima or principal maxima. Simply at P0 central maxima is existed whenever the light rays not bend at the corners of the slit or obstacle. But still some of the light rays after the slit they bend some angle of diffraction, which is represented by an angle theta. Now these rays are, that means these bending rays are meet at a point P1 on the screen. Now what is the position of P1 on the screen? Whether it is a maximum intensity or minimum intensity, that will be found with the help of intensity distribution curve. So to derive the formula for intensity, first we start with the path difference between the two light rays, that is A12 P1 light ray and A22 P1 light ray. So the light travel from A1 to P1 and A2 to P1. Here this is the extra path traveled by the light ray A2 P1. So this extra path is the path difference between A1 P1 ray and A2 P1 ray. Now to find the path difference between these two rays, that is A2D, here we draw a perpendicular, that is AD. Now this AD is perpendicular, and now here from triangle A1 and A2D we have to find the value of A2D. For this purpose the light is made incident on arrangement of double slit. the secondary wavelets traveling in the direction of OP0 are brought to focus at P0 on the screen SS dash by using converging lens L. P0 corresponds the position of central bright maxima. Why? Because here at this point the light rays are travel as in the incident ray direction. That means there is no bending of light rays, there is no diffraction angle. That means theta is equal to 0 in that case. So that's why at P0 we have to observe the central bright maxima condition. Now the intensity distribution on the screen is combined effect of interference and diffraction of secondary waves from the slits. That means in Fraunhofer diffraction due to single slit we observe only diffraction pattern, whereas in Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit, here by observe the intensity distribution on the screen there is a combined effect of interference and diffraction. So the diffracted intensity on the screen is very large along the direction of incident beam, that is OP0. Hence it is maximum at P0. This is known as principal maxima of zero order, or it is also named as central maxima of zero order. Then what about the intensity at the point P1 on the screen? For this purpose we have to use the formulas from Fraunhofer diffraction due to single slit and Fraunhofer diffraction theory at a single slit and the interference of the diffracted waves from the two slits. So the diffracted wave amplitude due to single slit at an angle theta with respect to the incident beam is already we have to find that. That formula is A sin alpha by alpha, where 2 alpha is the phase difference between the secondary wavelets arising at the end points of the slit. This phase difference can be estimated as follows. So to measure the phase difference, here we draw a normal from A1 to B1Q. Now B1C is the path difference between the diffracted waves at an angle theta at the slit A1 B1. Once again we discuss in the diagram. So this is the triangle A1 C1 B. Now here by using this A1 B1 C triangle we find out the path difference between these two waves. So for this purpose here we draw a perpendicular from A1 to C. So from this diagram sin theta formula is opposite side by hypotenuse. So here opposite side is B1C. So this is the opposite side B1C and here C is a perpendicular. So the opposite side of perpendicular is known as hypotenuse. So simply in this triangle A1 B1 is the hypotenuse. So sin theta, here it is the theta value. So sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. So opposite side is B1C and hypotenuse is A1 B1. So we have already know that A1 B1 is the width of the slit. So simply substitute the value of A1 B1 is E. Now the B1 and C value becomes to B1 by C into A1 B1. Now cross multiply that, then we get the value of B1C is equal to E sin theta. Now the relation between path difference and the phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. So in this case the phase difference is represented by 2 alpha. So 2 alpha is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Here also we find the path difference value is e sin theta. Now substitute in this equation. So finally we get the corresponding phase difference value, that is 2 alpha is equal to 2 pi by lambda into e sin theta. By simple cancellation of 2 on both sides, we get the formula for alpha is equal to pi by lambda into e sin theta. As diffracted wave amplitude in single slit is represented as a sin alpha by alpha. At the two slits combination, here produce interference pattern also. So already I said that diffraction due to single slit, there exists only diffraction pattern, whereas diffraction due to double slit, there exist two patterns, that is one diffraction, another one is interference. So the path difference between the rays coming from corresponding points in the slits A1, B1 and A2, B2 can be found to be drawing a normal from A1 to A2R. Here A2D is the path difference between the waves from the corresponding points of the slit. So in this equation, A sin alpha by alpha is represent as the diffraction pattern, but we have to find the formula for intensity in the case of interference whenever the light rays are coming from A1 B1 slit and A2 B2 slit are superimposed. Then for this purpose we have to draw a perpendicular from A1 to A2R, that is perpendicular drawn on the A1 to A2R. Now the path difference between these two rays is A2D. For find the path difference of A2D, here we used the triangle A1 A2D. Once again we observed in this value from the diagram. Here it is the ray A1 P1 and this is the ray from A2 P1. Now these two rays are superimposed. Here we observe an interference pattern. So what is the path difference between these two rays is A1 P1. Here the A2 P1 travel an extra distance, that is the path difference between A1 P1 to A2 P1. Now that extra path is path difference between these two rays. So that extra path is A2D. So for determination of extra path, that is a path difference A2D, here we draw a perpendicular A1D like that. Now here also we apply the same technology whatever we find in the case of A1 B1C triangle. So here D is a perpendicular, so the opposite side of the perpendicular, that is A1 A2 is called hypotenuse. Now from triangle A1 A2D, sin theta is equal to opposite side, that is A2D by hypotenuse, that is A1 A2. In place of A1 A2, we just replace that by the value of E plus D. So finally we get the value for, in the case of path difference A2D is A2D by A1 A2 is equal to sin theta. So A2D is equal to A1 A2 sin theta, that is equal to E plus B sin theta. As we know the definition between phase difference and path difference, phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Here the phase difference is represented by 2 beta. So 2 beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Already here we find that value, that is E plus B sin theta. Now substitute in this equation. So here we get the value for 2 beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda into E plus B sin theta. Now apply the theory of interference on the wave amplitude A sin alpha by alpha at the two slits gives the resultant wave amplitude. So that resultant wave amplitude is 2A sin alpha by cos beta. Now as a definition of intensity, square of the amplitude is called intensity. So I is equal to square of the amplitude, that is R square, and square of the amplitude value is 4A square sin square alpha by alpha square cos square beta. By removing A square as a I naught, then we get resultant amplitude is 4 I naught sin square alpha by alpha square cos square beta. This is the final intensity distribution or finally intensity formula in the case of Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. Next, on basing this formula, we have to discuss what are the conditions for diffraction and interference. The equation 14.38 represents the intensity distribution on the screen. The intensity at any point on the screen depends on the values of alpha and beta. Here, the intensity central maxima is represented as 4 I naught. Now, the intensity distribution at different points on the screen can be explained in the terms of path difference between the incident and diffracted rays. In equation 14.38, the term cos square beta corresponds to interference and the sin square alpha by alpha square corresponding to diffraction. Now we will discuss about what are the conditions in the case of interference and diffraction, maxima and minima. Now the interference, maxima and minima. If the path difference is A to D is equal to E plus D sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. Here the n value is varying from 1, 2 and so on, and theta n value gives the direction of maximum intensity in the interference case, whereas the plus or minus sign indicates the maxima on both sides with respect to central maxima. On the other hand, the path difference is equal to odd multiple of lambda by 2, that is A to D is equal to E plus D sin theta is equal to plus or minus 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. In this case, the theta n value gives the direction of minima. Here also, the minima exists on both sides of the central maxima. That means, in interference, there exist two cases. One is maxima and minima. The maxima case is existed at path difference is equal to n lambda. The minima case is existed at path difference is equal to half of the wavelength. And the both cases exist on both sides of the central maxima. That is a very important concept. Here the next one is diffraction. So what are the cases are occurring in the diffraction pattern? Here also we used path difference formula. As we know, the path difference in the case of diffraction is E sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. Here the n value is varying from 1, 2, 3 and so on. Here the theta n value gives the direction of diffraction minima and the plus or minus sign indicates the minima on both sides of the central maxima. Similarly, in the diffraction for maxima case is E sin theta is equal to plus or minus 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 is the condition. The plus or minus sign indicates the existence of maxima on both sides of the central maxima. The intensity distribution on the screen due to double slit is shown in the figure. It represents the graph of interference and also show the graph of diffraction, and the next graph represents the resultant distribution. Based on relative values of E and B, certain orders of interference maxima are missing in the resultant pattern that can be observed through the next slide graph. The direction of interference maxima are E plus B sin theta is equal to n lambda, and the direction of minima is E sin theta is equal to m lambda. That means when you observe that these two cases are existed at the same point. So the first figure is represented as the interference pattern. So along the x-axis we have to take the values of 0, plus or minus pi, plus or minus 2 pi, plus or minus 4 pi, and so on. Along y-axis cos square beta. Already we discussed that the cos square beta term is represented in this case is interference, and the sin square alpha by alpha square term is represented as diffraction pattern. So the first diagram indicates the how the intensity distribution due to interference at double slit, and the second diagram represents the intensity distribution due to each slit by diffraction, and the third figure represents the how the intensity distribution due to diffraction and interference occurring by the double slit. That's why when you observe that diagram here, the outer line indicates the diffraction pattern due to each slit, and the inside the curves are represents the interference pattern. So this is the final intensity distribution curve for Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. So once again I repeat that this is the intensity distribution curve for interference due to double slits, and the second diagram represents the intensity distribution curve for Fraunhofer diffraction due to in each slit, and the third diagram represents the how the interference, that means both interference and diffraction pattern are formed due to the diffraction due to double slit. From sum of the values of theta when the values of E and B are satisfied such that these positions in the interference maxima and the diffraction minima are formed at the same point. So due to this combined effect, there are some orders are missing in interference maxima case. Now we see the certain values where the interference maximas are missing. For example, if in the case E is equal to B, that means width of the slit and the distance between the slits are in same length, that is E is equal to B. Now the formula in the case E plus D sin theta is equal to n lambda. By substituting E place E is equal to B, that means here we get 2E value. So 2E sin theta is equal to n lambda. Already the diffraction minima existence formula is E sin theta is equal to m lambda. So by equating the both equations, n by m value is 2. So in the case of 2m, that is n is equal to, by substituting the value of m 1, 2, 3, then n is equal to 2, 4, 6, that is the interference orders maxima 2, 4, 6 are missed in the diffraction pattern. In the similar way, This is another condition where the interference orders are missing. At 2E is equal to B. So again substitute in the case of formula interference maxima condition, that is E plus D sin theta is equal to n lambda. Now in place of B we substitute 2E, then E plus 2E becomes to 3E. So 3E is equal to sin theta is equal to n lambda. Already diffraction minima condition is E sin theta m is equal to m lambda. By equating the both equations, then n by m is equal to 3. So the n is equal to, by cross multiplication, n is equal to 3m. Now here substitute the values of m as 1, 2, 3 and so on. Then the orders are 3, 6, 9. That is, the interference orders 3, 6, 9 are missed in the diffraction pattern. If E plus B is equal to C, E, in this case, that is B equal to 0. So the meaning of B is equal to 0 is whatever the B is, the distance between the two slits. If there is a B value is 0, that means there is no gap between the slits. Simply the two slits are joined. So the diffraction pattern is due to single slit of width 2E. These are the missing cases whenever the interference maxima and the diffraction minima are coincide in the case of Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. Thank you.